If you want more power, better vision, and a bulletproof mindset, then I would like to welcome you to CG Plus, Complete Games Online Player Development Center. Now, baseball and softball players of all ages and skill levels can access a multimedia experience providing education and instruction on your personal mobile platform. Rob Cruz has put together an online video portal, a remote hitting program, as well as a series of online hitting courses boasting a curriculum that features pitch recognition strategies, power, video analysis, mental skills, and then some. For more info, log on to www.cg.plus. That's www.cg.plus to find out how you can complete your game today.
Welcome to the Transcending Sport Podcast with Rob Cruz, an audio experience bringing you interviews, conversations and more from some of the most intriguing personalities in the sports world. And now, your host, Rob Cruz.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Transcending Sport. I am your host, Rob Cruz. I'm excited about my guest for today. He is Omar Smalls, also known as Brother Smalls from brothersmalls.com. He's a speaker. He is a coach. He's the author of the book Tweet 365 and Real Love Ohms. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
What's up, man?
Oh, man, it's great to see you, man. How was your holiday?
Holiday was good. I try to, I love the holidays, but then I don't. So it's like a love-hate thing. It's like when I'm in it, I'm like, oh, this is nice. But I'm really like, okay, let's get through this so we can get back to normal. That's kind of how I am, because I'm kind of hyper-focused in that way. But it was good. I got a chance to sneak down south and visit some family, and then pop back up to the north and be back in my element. So it was a good thing.
That's awesome, brother. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's a good thing. So what's going on? How you been?
Oh, man, everything is great, man. I was looking at a letter last night my daughter gave me, and she signed it Infinity Love. And I was just like, oh, my God. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when your daughter sends a letter to you and says Infinity Love, everything else is gravy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want to get right to it. So for those of you who don't know, Omar and I both went to school together. We went to high school together. We went to what? Junior high too, right? You was at Isaac, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we go back. We go back from New Rochelle and New Rochelle, New York, which is, for those who don't know, New Rochelle, New York is a suburb of New York City. We're about with 2 train stops from the Bronx, 2 train stops from Fordham Road on the Metro North, and 3 train stops from Harlem.
You can get to the Bronx, 5-10 minutes, right?
Yeah. So we was right there.
Yeah.
And
right.
And we were both athletes at the high school, so we athletes. It's different when you're an athlete in a school like that. It's a big school, and really big school. People used to think that New Row was Iona.
Was a college, exactly.
They thought that they would think that was Iona because we were bigger than Iona, which is right down the street.
Right.
It's funny because now Iona's bigger now than it was back then.
I know the 2 lakes, and they were like, "Wow, this is a college, a university."
That must be Iona, yeah. But they call Iona University now.
I know.
They changed it.
Recently happened in the last. Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I want to dig into the book. You're an author. I want to dig into the book. I want to dig into the book titles, and mainly I want to start. Let's start with Tweet 365, which was your first publication, if I'm not mistaken, and what the book is about. But more importantly, what was the inspiration behind the book? Like why? And because this is unique with the tweets and stuff that you're capturing a whole different type of vibe going into the social media element. And with inspiration, what was the inspiration for that book?
Sure. No, thanks for that. So again, a tweet, you only have a certain number of characters, right? And so the book was inspired because I wanted to expound and give people more on the tweet. You only can give a little bit with the tweet. So I wanted to kind of give a lot more to folks. And that's what you'll find in the book, a lot more meat to it for people to kind of chew on and benefit from.
So what was the purpose? Like, okay, what am I going to get out of this book?
Yeah.
What was your goal? Like, okay, I'm going to do this
Sure.
book. What am I
Sure.
trying to give people?
Sure.
Why did I do it?
Sure. Got it.
Yeah.
So, and the book is titled "Tweet 305 Thought-Provoking Tweets to Ignite Your Brilliance and Power." And so, I really wanted to tap in and help people to tap into their brilliance and power. I really believe that it only takes one word, one step, one thought to change your life towards transforming your life. And so it only takes one. And in this book, you have 365 tweets that help spark something in you. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of give people an opportunity, whether they read the book all the way through, read it as a reference, read it each day, to kind of give them something to kind of look to, and there's a lot of lessons in the book as well. I'm asking questions for them to kind of to think about, right? And so that's really the purpose for them to tap into their God-given brilliance and power, because again, I think once you do that, everything else falls in line.
Okay. Because I'm going to go into your background in a second, but I'm doing it in this order on purpose. What the first book, Real Love, and what was the subtitle?
That was the second book. Yeah, Real
Love is the most recent one.
The most recent one, right? Real
Okay.
Love, best formula for finding your perfect relationship fit.
Great. Now,
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, no. Did you want me to go into
Inspiration.
why I
Yes.
wrote that?
Absolutely.
Sure. So that book was a godsend for me. I had just recently I lost my first wife to a bout with cancer, and we were married 15 years. She gave me 3 beautiful children. At the time when she passed away, they were 9, 7, and 7 months. Right.
Wow.
So I was in a place where, what am I going to do now? I just knew that God didn't bring me that far just to leave me. So I knew that there was love for me. I knew that God had someone for me. And so I was praying. I was working out crazy. I was actually looking. I was looking like, who is she? Who is she? Who is she? And in my reading and in my study, I was given a formula. And so that formula allowed me to find the love of my life, my wife, right? And so I share that formula with people. And that's what the book is all about. If people are looking for a relationship, looking to kind of, see how to, there's so many different things out there, right? You really need to kind of have a strategy and an approach to relationships. And that's what this book gives.
That's really good. So let me ask you this. When we talk about relationships and we talk about trying to find that perfect relationship, if that exists, right? But I think I guess it could exist, but it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street.
I mean, perfect. No, you know what? We strive for perfection. Obviously, that's why we're living and breathing, right? Because we're striving for perfection. We're getting better and better each and every day. As it relates to relationships, I think you can kind of set yourself up to be in the best possible situation, and that's really what you want. anybody tells you that relationships are, going to be easy, or they never been married before, and you run the other way. Just run the other way. All right, it's work, but you can make it easier on yourself by following these steps and going through this formula. And I believe it starts with understanding who you are, understanding your purpose.
I got you. So, with regards to the love piece, let's take it somewhere where, okay, so you're when we talk about love and we talk about the finding piece, and you obviously you mentioned God, and obviously God has a lot to do with orchestrating our lives and our destiny and our path and our purpose.
Yeah.
How do you feel like, in the way that which God has shifted your life, that has played a part in your actual calling and purpose?
Oh man, what a question! What a question! The way God has shifted my life, how's that? Well, I mean, they say what doesn't kill you, will make you stronger.
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about and think about our experiences and what we've been through, those experiences help other people, and they're really supposed to be used to help other people get through. I think some of the issues we have is that we hoard a lot of different things. We hoard clothes, we hoard all types of stuff, and really the Bible says the giver will always have seed. So as you give, you're always going to have seed. And so, brother, I know that you'll never run out of witty ideas and instruction, because you're given constantly. Every time I listen to you or watch something that you're doing, you're giving somebody something to think about. You're telling, another tip. It's not, it's not the at bats. It's the balls. When you think about, okay, it's the balls. Yeah, it's the balls. Keep your eye, on the balls. Don't chase after the balls. You know what I mean? Instead of the strikes. So I mean, you're doing that constantly, and so I think in life, we need to understand that the things that we go through help us. I like to say it this way: your purpose defines your process, and your process determines the product. I'll say that one more time. Your purpose defines the process, and the process determines the product. And if we talk about it even in a sports sense, I mean, you're a baseball softball guy, so you understand. Okay, if that's your purpose, in a way, a part of your purpose is to be a athlete, to excel there. There has to be a process that you go through. You reach out to Rob Cruz. You work out. You get a mentality. You start to focus on that particular process, right? And how you attend to that process is going to determine the product or the end result. And so that's how I like to, look at things. Again, it all works. It all starts with your purpose. Your purpose defines your process, and the process determines the product.
It's funny. As you're talking, I'm thinking about what you said. And I wonder, when people reach out to me to try to make a connection with me, they reaching out to me because they want something, obviously. But so a lot of times when they what they thought they were going to get, I'm giving them something different than what they thought they were going to get. And I actually know what it is that people need, but I have to go in a roundabout way to get them to that point, because they don't always know what they need. So, for example, I want to work on my swing. Something's up with my kid's swing. I don't know what it is, but I'm going straight to that kid's mind, and I'm doing a whole brainwashing process. Goes back to your process statement. It's a whole brainwashing process to get people to rethink how they think.
Fact.
because your product, your outcome is based on your whole mental process, and that's what I'm trying to do. So it's like,
Right.
I know you want, I know this is what you want, but we can't just jump right to that. We have to work through a process to get to that.
Yes.
And for some people, it's instantaneously. For some people, it may take a little while. Some people, it may take a long time. And for some people, it's just the journey is what inspires and empowers them. The journey can never be over, because once it's over, then it's like, okay, now what? Like, I need to have a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say, like a lot of professional athletes are like, man, I won a championship, but like they get depressed. Like, now what?
Yeah, exactly.
I need to chase something.
That's right.
Your thoughts?
Well, again, you're spot on. You know, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. There's a way. That's why thinking is so important. And going back to my book, Tweet,
Yeah.
365. That's why thoughts and thought processes is so important. What are you thinking when you go to bat? What are you thinking when you make this decision? What are you thinking when you call this person or don't call this person? What are you thinking? And so if you can kind of get at the people thoughts and have them kind of thinking differently, then you can kind of change behaviors, because again, your thoughts, behaviors, lifestyle, it is all intertwined, and so you hit it out the park as usual.
So you studied undergrad, and you got your master's in what was it again?
So I got a bachelor's in psychology.
Yep.
And my master's in public administration.
Yep. And you play sports?
And I play sports. I played
Mm-hmm.
football and basketball. I played. I still have a little skills with me too.
You still got a handle. You still got a handle.
Yeah, I still got a handle, man. I was on the court, man, with this young kid, man, and I told him after the game I'm going to tell him my age, and he was just startled. And I was double his age, and I was still able to come out with the win. So that's how I challenge myself.
That's how it is.
That's how I challenge myself.
The other day, my nephew came up to me, and he goes, I still want to see you on the court 1-on-1. I said, listen, if I get the ball, you're not gonna get it back.
Nope.
Because that rim ain't changed. It's still the same distance.
That's right.
And I know what it takes to get the ball in the hole. So just so you know, I'm not gonna miss.
That's right.
Because sometimes they underestimate you. I'm like, I'm not gonna talk no more. That's it. That's why I said what I had to say. I'm not gonna talk no more. But so in terms of like sports, how has you been as how your athleticism or your athletic career and your athletic trials contributed to who you are today? What are some of the things that you got from sports that have contributed to who you are, what you are, and your ability to kind of be more relatable to people in today?
Yeah, no. Sports is amazing,
Yeah.
and they kind of it gave me a foundation. Quite honestly. Dealing with people, being a team player,
Mm-hmm.
not focusing on yourself all the time, and I learned a tremendous amount, and grit, being able to kind of have a goal, have a focus, and work towards it. I mean, sports, kind of does that in spades all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I really kind of learned from that, and also I learned from my failures as well. I learned. I think I was telling you before. I stopped playing in college, and it was something really minor. When I look back at it, I was a starting cornerback, and in football, and in practice. Someone had actually, scored twice on me, 5-yard drill, and tight end, dude was like, I'm going to say 6'2", about 220, 225, big, strong dude. And so, they run the play, and I couldn't stop him. I'm right on his hip, and he takes the ball, and he's just like, "Give me that," and it threw me because it just threw me because I didn't, it threw me because you know I didn't really experience that in a sense of when I played. I kind of would make the plays, I would make the tackles, I would, that sort of thing. And it kind of, I was already reaching in a way, playing D1. I was kind of reaching in a way because of my speed and because, I wasn't accustomed to that level. I was kind of reaching in a way.
Yep.
And those instances really kind of shook me like, can I do this? Can I actually do this? And I ended up not playing. My coach tried to get a scout to kind of come back and say, hey, no, you're good, that sort of thing. But in football and in many other sports, if your heart is not in it, it's just very, very tough. And especially for football, if your heart's not in it, you can get hurt. So as I look back at it, as I look back at it, I understand that things would have gotten better. I understand that I would have kind of learned, hey, everyone gets burnt. Everyone misses a play. Everyone misses a tackle. Everyone misses an assignment. You're not perfect, right? And it was really a simple lesson, but that lesson is something that I can share with young people. That lesson is something that I could share with someone else. Like, hey, nah, man, it's gonna be all right, man. Shake it off. You had a bad game. You had a bad. Actually, I was reading your book where you were reading. I think it was a Complete Game book where you were talking about how you're focused not on when somebody is down, but what is their response at the next at bat. What's their response? How do they pick themselves up? Yeah. And so I thought that was fascinating, and again, it was spot on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you this as a coach. Yesterday, I'm working with a couple of athletes that are going through some things, right? And when you're working with athletes, they're adults. Some of these, if you're 18, 19, technically you're an adult. Right. You're a young adult.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you're an adult, and a lot of things have to be your decision. And as consultants and as counselors and as elders, as leaders of young people, mentors of young people, we provide guidance, but ultimately the decision is theirs.
Facts.
And for me, I don't have that relationship with all my students, but with the ones who allow me to be more to them, I can be more to them, and I'm willing to. I know that that's my purpose, and when you have as much experience as I have in the field that I'm in, you've seen everything.
That's huge. That's huge because you talk about the relationship, and to actually circle back to the time when I was in college, I didn't necessarily have a relationship with a coach or a person that knew me, that knew my skill set, that actually could say, hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine, that sort of thing. And it's really built on relationship. Now, to my credit, my coaches tried to get other people, a Buffalo Bills scout, all these different they tried to get other people to kind of say, you're good, keep at it. But we didn't have that relationship. So them saying that to me didn't really mean anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when Coach Rob says something, right, we've had this relationship. I've had, Coach Rob for years. He's helped me from high school, right, to college and that sort of thing. And so he knows me. He knows my quirks. He knows, how I get down or that sort of thing. And so I think your advice at that time is a lot more weightier.
And the parents called me to say, look, she's not listening to us. Every time we bring it up, she freaks out. Can you talk to her?
Mm-hmm.
And
I would have did the same thing.
And I did. And I but sometimes you get this gut feeling to either push or not push. And I was led to just listen. Because when I called, I had my intent was different. I called with a specific intent. I'm gonna talk this person out of this situation. But when I got on the phone, I was led to just listen.
Wow.
Because sometimes people have to make the wrong decision, or they have to make whatever decision they think is right, even though as an adult what's going to happen, but they got to see it, and it could end up being the right decision. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be a different path they're going to have to take to get where they got to go. You know what I mean? And I can't get involved. That's something it's like me meddling in fate right there.
No, it's important. I actually write about that in my book Tweet. I said sometimes you have to let your kids fall sometimes. And as a parent, you don't really want your kids to hurt. As a parent, you don't want your kids to hurt. But sometimes it's necessary for them to fall so that they can learn about what took place and why it took place and what I need to do differently and that sort of thing.
And let me tell you, I had a knot in my stomach. Like I was like, that thing in your stomach. You know what I'm talking about? Like I had that in my stomach. I was like, why do I care? I shouldn't even. Whatever. Why do I care?
No,
I care too much.
Because you do care.
That's like, why, this is crazy.
But that's why you had that knot, because you do care. You understand. You have a love and an affinity for.
Dude, I was done.
The people that you deal with.
I was done, man. So let me ask you a question. So what you do, consulting, speaking, helping people to get perspective on their lives in different areas. It takes a special type of individual to be able to do that, right? It does. And to be able to, not only to be able to do it, but to be able to say, I'm going to brand myself as that. My personal brand is going to be based on that because I know who I am and what I'm called to do. That's right. Sure. At what point in your life did you know that you were special? Different. Early on. Like around what age?
Early on. Early on. I've always, early on. And so I like to say it like this, and I'll give you a story. Mm-hmm. My grandfather would say to me, Omar, you're going to be something. You're going to be a speaker. You're going to be a teacher. You're going to be somebody, right? And so I understood at an early age the importance of words. My mom used to tell me, Omar, you're so handsome. You're so handsome. Before I went out the door in the morning, Omar, you're so handsome. You're so handsome. You're so handsome. And these things, right, kind of built me up in a way. They kind of built me up in a way. And so I understood and I knew early on that I was special, and those types of things, you have to learn. And even if you know something, you still have to learn, because you still have to kind of learn how to give it, use it, right? You have a skill set, but you have to learn how to coach. I know that, you really think about how you approach coaching and how you approach teaching. I mean, the information you have, and, you have the information, but you really kind of take it back on like how to go about it. How do I do it? You don't just kind of hit people over the head with it. There's a strategy, there's a technique that you use. And I just think that when you're given a gift, and I believe that we are leaders, and we have to lead, and we can all lead based on our gifting, right? You're leading your gifting, but you have to be able to train that thing. It's like somebody, right? You have to be able to train that thing. It's almost like somebody who's skilled at martial arts or skilled at boxing or what have you. The person can't necessarily start a fight or at every step. They have to be able to kind of control
Right.
that.
It's like the so like for me, and I hear you, because I think that somebody has to be able to speak those things into you as a young person, and help you to cultivate your gifts and talents.
Facts.
But what I always say is, it's 0% what you know, and 100% what you can effectively communicate. As a teacher, especially as a teacher, because most people do know it. Like they got the degree, they read the book, right? But if you can't effectively communicate what you know, so what?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Anything.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So what I had to do, and what I do, is I had to really find, and I constantly record myself and play it back and think about it, and I read the crowd, and I see what were the most effective ways that I communicated that. How were young people able to understand it? How were coaches in the room and parents in the room were able to understand it? And then I constantly refining it and making it even better, and making my communication skills even better, and finding ways to take something that would take me a long time to say, to find a better way to say it in short form, so that people can see the words.
Yeah.
So hear the words, and hopefully my words are painting a picture in your mind. So you're hearing it and visualizing what I said at the same time. And that's something that I had to learn. I learned from some pretty good communicators, how to effectively teach and how to effectively, refine my teaching gift. But I think in today's society, in today's culture, people want things faster nowadays. They want immediate, instantaneous results. They want the quick fix. They want the microwave oven experience. Which is why I'm like, it makes it tough, because I'm like, I want to try to get you there as quick as I can. But you also got to learn it. I'm going to teach it. Are you going to learn it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a back and forth there, and an understanding on both sides that needs to take place. It reminds me of a conversation I had on. I have a YouTube channel called Kicking It with Brother Smalls. You know it.
Yep.
And you were on the show, and I was interviewing Mike Phillips, who's the world-renowned saxophone.
I know Mike very well.
You know Mike. Yep. So
I gotta tell you Mike Phillips' story. Go ahead. I'm gonna tell you Mike Phillips' story after this. Go ahead.
You would say, okay.
Go ahead.
Well, when I'm interviewing him, I'm listening, and I told him, hey, how do you kind of deal with each crowd, and how do you kind of keep it fresh and that sort of thing? And he said to me, Omar, you can't just have your intent and not really understand the room. And so he likened it to a chameleon being, everyone in the audience being green, and the chameleon coming out orange. Like, no, wait a second. Everybody in the room is green. Use your ability to be green so that you can kind of meld with the audience. I thought that was so powerful, to kind of understand, okay, I have to be effective in communicating. You have to be able to, I want you to receive this message, and I have to be mindful so that you can receive it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're in such a world this world is so distracting too at the same time. And the one thing I'm working on right now with a lot of my students is sustained focus. Because I'm finding that a lot of young people now are really good at focusing in small spurts. But then they need something else to stimulate them. What's the next new shiny thing in the room? Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm like, no. I need you to have sustained focus because that's gonna contribute to your consistency in sports. Mm-hmm. Consistency is about focus. Team sports is focus because you gotta do your part because that person over there is doing their part. If you break down, that causes them to have to shift and cover your spot, and then leave spots open. That's any sport.
Facts.
It's being able to have your most focused players on the field, not your best players. This is where people get it twisted. But I'm better than that person. Yeah, but they're more focused than you are. I can trust them to stay on their assignment. You got more talent. You do. But you're all over the place. I never know when you're going to show up. And most athletes don't get that. But I'm better. Yeah, you are. Hands down. You're faster. You jump higher. You run faster. You're better skilled. But you're inconsistent. I don't trust you on the court or the field. And these are the kind of decisions that coaches have to make that the outside people don't get it.
But the outside people don't get it, and I would submit to you that sometimes the players don't get it. The way you just explained that. If a coach came to me and said, Omar, you're this, you're that, I just need you to do this. Instead of just berating me or what have you, tell me what you need. Mm-hmm. And so you just explaining, hey, no, I need you to do this. And if you do this, your time you're going to increase. I'll be able to trust you, that sort of thing. For me, that would have worked for me because it's clear. It's a clear directive. Hey, you're talented, you're gifted, you're still bigging me up, but you're also saying, hey, you got to work on this. This is the issue that I'm having with you. Mm-hmm. And that honesty, that integrity, that communication, I think gets you to the next level.
And it's funny because I'm finding that in sports now also is that a lot of coaches have not been able to make the shift into the new age athletes' needs. Because they're looking at the word coach as a title and not an act of service. So I'm the coach. My way or the highway. Or I'm your coach. How can I help you to get better? What do you need from me? Because buy-in is a two-way street. And they're losing. This generation ain't happening. It's just 2022. This ain't 1980 where it's it's a different world. And if you're not able to make that adaptation and that shift and that pivot and look at it as a coach, just replace the word coach with servant. Mm-hmm. And then you would go about coaching differently. Mm-hmm. And you'd have better results.
Also, what you just did there, I think, is masterful. The question. You asked the question, and so that takes humility to kind of say, "Hey, what can I do? How can I serve you? How can I best serve you? Mm-hmm. What does this particular group need?" Not every group is the same. You know that every team is different, right? You might have, a couple of just studs on one team. You might have a group of players that are just really, really good. What does this particular team need? What does this particular person need? Right? And so you ask that question is huge, and not just saying, okay, like you said, okay, this is my way. And because there's certain coaches. I could kind of talk about some certain coaches in like basketball, and especially in the college level, that I just think like they've wasted so much talent because they were so stuck in, this is my way. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna run a zone until the cows come home, right? Like, switch it up.
Well, you know what it is? I think here's the other part of it. Like, and I learned this from baseball, right? So baseball, I don't know if you noticed this or not, or if you've ever thought about it, but in baseball, the coach and coaches are wearing the same uniform as the players. You never thought. I'm sure you noticed it, but have you ever thought about why?
No, I haven't.
Here's why. Because once upon a time, coach was a position.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was a position. So you show up to the field. Okay, you're the coach today. You're playing first. You're playing second. You're playing third. You're playing short. And the fifth inning, we're going to switch. You're going to go from short to coach. Coach, you're going to go to short.
Got it.
So the coach was actually a part of the team, not somebody on the outside of the team coaching the team. But it was an actual position.
That's good. That's good.
And so it's like, you're just playing your position. It's the same way that the actual church is actually designed. Somebody could be pastor. You're serving as pastor today.
Right.
Next 2 years from now, somebody else is. You go back into congregation. The Constitution is set up that way. The president of the United States would serve as president, and then go back home and go work in the front yard. I did my 4 years of service to my country. Somebody else step up and do it.
Right.
It doesn't become this like we've taken these leadership roles and we've iconized them. If that's even a thing. We've made it this position or this CEO, this position. No, you're all part of the same team. You're just CEO. You're just CTO. You're CFO. But we're on the same team though.
No, that reminds me of scripture where it talks about the body, right? And it talks about how can the eye say to the ear or to the mouth or to the leg, or which one is more important, right? You got to understand that everyone is so important. That's why I actually posted something about Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, about the way he approaches what he does. From this point of view, everything is team and everybody is a part of the team. I've heard him talk about and give kudos to the coaches, to the people the staff that does the laundry, to the attendants, to everybody associated with the team, including the faculty and what have you. They're all part of the team. And so I think that's a very, very powerful thing to instill into an organization, that everybody's a part of it. And that's something that's something that I used to do as a manager. I never looked down at anybody. I always spoke to everybody. I always communicated with everybody. I was genuinely concerned with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't matter your position. It didn't matter your status. It didn't matter where you came from, your social economic, status, any of that. What mattered was that we were part of an organization. We were part of a team, and we had a goal in mind. And, I think that's the power.
Let me tell you something. When we was in the high school, there was this guy, and I can't think of his name right now. It'll lose me. I see his face. No. His mom worked for the Yankees.
His mom worked for the Yankees.
She worked for food service or something for the Yankees.
No.
I see his face. Oh, you know him too. Oh my gosh. So anyway, he came to school one day because he used to be the bat boy for the Yankees. Why can't I think of his name? I was bugging me out right now. He came to school with he was the bat boy. He came to school with Roberto Kelly's glove. And Roberto Kelly wanted him to help him break it in. So he took it to school, and I'm like, yo, where'd you get that glove? I know a glove when I see a glove. He's like, oh, that's a Roberto Kelly's glove. It's like, how'd you get Roberto Kelly's glove? He was like, my mom works for Yankee Stadium for the Yankees, and I'm the bat boy some game. So I'm like, and he don't even play baseball, nothing. He can't even throw, he can't catch. I'm like, dude, you gonna mess the glove up. Give me that glove, man. So why can't I see his face? You know him too. All right, so anyway. His mom got a World Series ring from the Yankees. Because they bought World Series rings for everybody. It didn't matter how you contributed. But what they were saying is, we're all a team. And this championship is just as much yours as it is ours. I thought that was, and that's the first time I had ever seen an event. I said, she got a World Series ring? And I'm like, okay, I can see. You start, so there it is.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Yankees fan, but what I do appreciate about the Yankees is that organization, right? And you can look at how they, right?
Yeah,
how these organizations, how they really operate, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's an amazing.
Wait,
story.
you're not a Yankee fan? What team? Who you a fan of? The Mets?
I'm a Met fan.
Okay, so let's go there. That's great. I'm glad you said that because back when we was in high school, the Mets were hot.
Yeah, Strawberry and Gooden and everybody.
They were hot. 86
yes.
Mets.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it was Giants and Mets. Phil Simms and the Mets. That's it. And even the Knicks, Patrick Ewing. And here's what people don't remember: as New York Knicks fans, we were not allowed to wear Jordans. Like you don't even remember. Like we couldn't really wear Jordans.
Right.
Because the Bulls were in our way.
Well, I couldn't afford Jordan, so I
couldn't afford them either. But that was my excuse. I couldn't afford them. But at the same time, how you gonna come to school with Jordans on?
Yeah.
When you got to represent the Knicks and the Bulls are in our way.
Oh man.
It was a conflict. I wanted to wear Jordans so bad, but I was like, I can't wear Jordans. I'm wearing Ewings.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I couldn't afford Jordans, and that's a running joke in my house. My wife talks about like movies and what have you, and I always kind of retort, "Hey, I didn't have cable. I couldn't afford cable. You know what I mean? Back in the day." Right. She jokes at that, but no, you're right, man. If you had to represent, Had to represent.
So what's next? What's next for Brother Smalls in your world? What you got coming up?
Oh yeah, thanks for asking. I want everyone to share, like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kicking It with Brother Smalls. The show is designed to and dedicated with information to inform, uplift, elevate, and inspire. I've had Rob Cruz on the show, and I have people like Rob on the show. Again, when he was on the show, it was excellent, and so that's what I do. So again, it's called Kicking It with Brother Smalls, and I also do coaching. I'm doing something actually on December 12th, all right, called Define Your Purpose Challenge. It's the Define Your Purpose Challenge. If you want to avoid costly distractions, stay on track, remove things out of your life that really don't impact your life long term, right? Cancel things that want to cancel your dreams and goals. If you don't want to waste another day, if you don't want to waste another opportunity, it's the Define Your Purpose Challenge. That's going to again be December 12th. You can find information on my IG page. That's One Brother Smalls. Again, it's One Brother Smalls, and it's Define Your Purpose Challenge.
Excellent. I am really glad that that you were able to carve out some time to be here. We have to do this again. and go even deeper into some topics. Because I always love getting people like yourself on the show who are able to articulate, who have the experience and the knowledge and the perspective on the nuances of what it takes to be who we are in the world, and whether it's through sports, business, relationships, life. It's all really the same thing.
Man, I appreciate you, man, and I always want you on the show as well, because you always give stuff for people to really think about and to be better. And so I definitely appreciate it. And hey, man, let's do it again.
Sounds like a plan. All right, we'll talk soon.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Appreciate you. All right.
What's up, everybody? This is Rob Cruz, and I'm going to let you know how you can get 15% off any purchases you make at diamondkinetics.com. Whether it's the DK Swing Tracker for baseball or softball, or the DK Pitch Tracker for baseball or softball, you will get 15% off by using the promo code ROBCRUZ. That's ROBCREWS at checkout. Check out diamondkinetics.com and get your 15% off today.